In fact, the Haiti has a murder rate of 18.02%. Chicago has a murder rate of 18.26%.
Who's cutting Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security? We're not taking that away from anybody.
Illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes.
But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process.
Chicago Mayor Johnson could go to jail in this cross-examination. Watch this welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. What kind of a host am I? Welcome to my studio. We're going to talk about the news. This is Lori Lightfoot's replacement. Remember those good old days, Lori Lightfoot? Who could have guessed that someone so disastrous could have replaced her? A complete communist who destroyed Chicago, turned it into a third world. Well, welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. Let's watch this. This is Rep. Pat Fallon destroying Johnson.
Up a travel advisory saying to Americans, don't go to Haiti. I hope that the Trump administration puts up a travel advisory saying, don't go to Chicago.
Ooh, look at them. Honorable Mayor Johnson. What a burn. They're saying the same reason why you wouldn't go to Haiti is why you wouldn't go to Chicago. Literally, that is mathematically true.
In fact, the Haiti has a murder rate of 18.02%. Chicago has a murder rate of 18.26%.
18% murders in Chicago. It's literally as bad as Haiti. Chicago is a third world country under Democrat rule. Now, remember, my rule is never put an X next to a Democrat. And a whole city of dummies in Chicago. I'm looking at you, Chicago. I'm going to tear into you pretty hard here. You had a chance when Lori Lightfoot was up. You could have picked any one of those mayors. And you know what you said? I want a black guy. Diversity hire. Not only a black guy, but a Democrat who was a known socialist in bed with the teachers' unions. Teachers' unions all endorsed him because they were all on the dole. And you voted for a Democrat. And now you have Chicago operating at the same level of murder as the streets of Haiti. You would not let your daughter walk around in Haiti. In fact, you wouldn't walk around in Haiti because their murder rate and their piracy and their crime, because civilizational collapse is what Chicago is. That's what a Democrat means. Never, you sucker, never put an X next to a Democrat. But I mean, in Chicago, you're actually literally risking your life if you do it.
I can see why, sir, you have a 14% approval rating. Mayor Wu.
Hold on. What is a black Democrat in Chicago has a 14% approval rating? That makes you less popular than AIDS in Chicago. So I just want to, I'm going to play that clip again.
A travel advisory saying to Americans, don't go to Haiti. I hope that the Trump administration puts up a travel advisory saying, don't go to Chicago. In fact, the Haiti has a murder rate of 18.02%. Chicago has a murder rate of 18.26%. I can see why, sir, you have a 14% approval rating. Mayor Wu.
Okay, now he's back on Mayor Wu from Boston. They're saying, what happened to our beloved Chicago? Chicago, what a wonderful town. Now we're going to get back to more on Johnson getting completely buried. But first, here's CNN on, this is Shermichael Singleton straightening out Julie Reginski on the lies told about DOJ.
They don't like it, right? Because it's fine until it comes for them.
Sure.
Right now it's coming for them.
But who's cutting Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security? We're not taking that away from anybody.
There is a proposal
we're not, but we're not taking that away from anyone.
How could you have voted for the blueprint?
Using this talking point as a scare tactic. Elon Musk, the president, the House Majority Leader, the Senate Leader, we have not cut anyone's Social Security,
how are you cutting $880 billion from the Energy and Commerce Appropriation Committee from the Energy and Commerce Committee unless you cut Medicaid?
Do you think?
See, there you go. How do you cut deep in the DOJ corruption and say energy and commerce? And she's going, you'll cut it from Medicaid. That's not what's happening. This is all fear-mongering. We're going to go into this, actually. You'll see even more quotes on this to back me up, that they're going to reform the government, and it's going to help secure Medicaid. Right now, Medicaid is going to collapse under Democrats. Old people, all of you who paid into Medicaid, you're going to lose your benefits 100%. It's a fact under Democrats. Or if you do nothing, you will be forced to lose your benefits. We can't afford to pay them. So something has to get cut. And all we're saying is that the Democrats are lying, saying that Trump is going to undermine Medicaid and take money out of Medicaid to pay for other things. That's what her accusation is saying.
Think those things are solvent?
Excuse me? Do you think?
Simple question.
Answer my question.
It's a simple financial question.
Do I think
we not need any level of reform?
I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question.
Do we need a level of reform, or they're going to go insolvent, is what he's saying. So if you keep doing what you're doing, you're not going to get your Medicaid payment.
You're saying we're not cutting Medicaid.
We're not.
We're not.
Where's the legislation that's been passed by Congress, signed by the president, where there are cuts?
What is this budget bluept that every single Republican
It's an idea. Everybody has an idea. Julie, that doesn't mean the idea has been actualized.
It's not an idea. It is a blueprint that they said, go ahead.
Tactic, Julie. It's
not a scare tactic.
That's what you're doing right now. It's a scare tactic.
Sure, Michael.
Said, we're making cuts.
Sure, Michael.
Where have the cuts? Why have the cuts occurred?
Why did Congress? Did Congress bother wasting everybody's time voting for a blueprint that said cut $880 billion, from energy and commerce? The only way to achieve that is to cut Medicaid. How are they going to do that?
Unicorns exist. Where have we made the cuts? It's a simple question.
Where
have we made the cuts? Where and when?
Where and when?
No, where and when have we made the cuts?
You put a blueprint forward to allow Congress to do that. Then why did you waste time doing it? Why?
Okay, where have you made the cuts? You've made the cuts, for example, to USAID, which is affecting farmers.
Yeah, there's Anna Navarro. You know, everything in this show goes back to The View. Anna Navarro, where did you make the cuts? They're going to cut waste, fraud, and abuse from Medicaid when they remove the illegals off the rolls. And we're going to show you this clip because Johnson wants to pay illegals with American taxpayer dollars funding. Check this one out.
Do you support allowing illegal aliens to obtain driver's licenses? Just yes or no?
So the city of Chicago has been a welcoming city for over 40 years.
I'll take that as a yes. Next question.
And that's the policy that we will hold to.
Do you support tax dollars subsidizing or paying for the health care of illegal aliens?
There's Brandon Gill calling out Johnson. Do you support the taxpayer dollars paying for health care, giving Medicaid to illegals, in other words? So if you cut that, that would reduce the cost of Medicaid. What if half the Medicaid, because you don't know how many people are actually on it, what if half of the recipients of welfare and Medicaid were illegal aliens? Entirely possible. In fact, likely.
I support investments in all residents of the people of Chicago, and that's what I do.
That's a yes as well. Do you support free or reduced college for illegal aliens?
Again, I support the investments of all residents of the people of Chicago.
Take that as a yes. Next question.
That's a yes. That means you can also, by removing illegals off those rolls, college rolls of free welfare for college, you could reduce the cost of college. You could cut it in half.
You support allowing non-citizens to vote in local elections?
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm not over the jurisdiction of that type of law, but again, I'm committed to investing in all residents of the people of Chicago.
I'll take that as a yes. I've got an article from the Chicago Sun-Times, and I'll quote here briefly. Johnson proposed, among other things, that all residents, regardless of citizenship status, be able to vote for Chicago Board of Education members.
Yeah, no wonder why, he's got a 14% approval rating by Chicagoans. How is he getting in office? Oh, get illegals to vote. That's how you get overwhelming support. And then all he has to do is he's going to give away a vote to them. He's going to give away Medicaid. He's going to give away welfare benefits. He's going to give away free housing. That's the plan. So that's the big picture. Now you know what this episode's about. Now here's Congress, the same Congressman Brandon Gill, on why DOJ and Elon Musk is saving America. We're going to get back to Johnson and how he's going to get prosecuted. But here's Brandon Gill on Elon Musk.
I can tell you that we're working really hard on the DOJ subcommittee to work with Elon Musk in tandem to actually cut out waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government. But zooming out a little bit, one of the things that I took away from the meeting with Elon Musk is that what he is doing and what we are doing on the DOJ subcommittee and what President Trump is doing to cut out this waste will go down in history books as the largest right-sizing of government ever in all of history anywhere. Our children and our children's children will read about the billions of dollars that were being plundered from the American people, how President Trump inherited a failing government that was running deficits to the tune of $2 trillion every single year, how our children children's inheritance was being despoiled by a bureaucratic incompetency and at times malice, and how President Trump stood in the gap, brought in one of the smartest people in the world to solve this crisis, and courageously, with yielding attacks from the left, incessantly solved this crisis. We're just beginning, but the kinds of things that he is uncovering, that we are uncovering in the DOJ subcommittee, is absolutely egregious, but we are working night and day nonstop to get our government back on a track that is economically and fiscally sustainable.
He's just trying to save America, guys. And the Democrats hate Brandon Gilsguts. They hate Elon Musk because he's exposing their fraud. They're pillaging your tax dollars and your children's money to pay for trans surgeries overseas. They're insane. Now we're going to do, I have just a couple of more shots to take at Brandon Johnson. This is the legal case made by Rep. Luna on why Johnson should be arrested for what he's done.
So you don't believe that banning the transfer of individuals into ICE custody for the purpose of civil immigration enforcement encourages illegal immigration into Chicago?
He's encouraging illegal immigration into Chicago, and she's about to nail the head of Boston, the Boston mayor, Chicago mayor, for their sanctuary city practices of hiding illegals in their house, in their cities, and not complying with Tom Homan, which we're going to show as a punishable offense by death.
Or how about agencies, or agents not being able to stop, arrest, or detain individuals based solely on their immigration status or administrative warrant?
So we comply with all laws, local, state, and federal.
To me, after this line of questioning, it's very clear that these policies that you have all implicated are active and alive and well in your cities, are in direct violation with U.S. Title 8 Code subsection 1324, and it is a federal offense. But you all speak about a broken immigration system, and yet here you guys are aiding and abetting in that entire process. I want to be very clear about something. Open border policies, which is something that you guys are talking about, hurts people on both sides, meaning the people that are coming here illegally and then American citizens as well. I do not think you guys are bad people, but I think that you are ideologically misled.
I think they're bad people, too.
Which is why, unfortunately, based on your responses, I'm all going to be criminally referring you to the Department of Justice for investigation. And as soon as I leave here, these will be going over to Pam Bondi. I'm not doing that.
Pam Bondi is going to send the DOJ after Johnson for non-compliance with Homan on illegals in Chicago, where Johnson has a 14% approval rating, and they're one of the highest murder capitals in the United States.
In an effort to bully you guys, but I do believe that your policies are hurting the American people, and you can make that known with the evidence that you can present to the Department of Justice. But if you guys continue doing what you're doing, you're not going to help anyone. You're going to hurt more people, and that's exactly why I'm tired of it. The American people are tired of it. And Chairman, I yield my time.
I like how kind she is. No offense, but you're killing people, and I had to turn you over. Now, what's that? Some of this U.S. code that she's quoting? Here's some of it right here. This is called bringing in and harboring certain aliens from an old clipping. 8 U.S. Code 1324A1A. Any person who encourages or induces an alien to come to, enter, or reside in the U.S., knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that such coming to, entry, or residence is or will be a violation of the law, shall be punished as provided, imprisoned not more than 5 years. In the case of violation in which the offense was done for the purpose of commercial or financial gain. Now, this imprisonment, no more than 10 years. I'm going to tell you, I want to underline that commercial gain. That's picking fruit. That's saying, look, guys, if you don't bring these illegals in, our cost of fruit is going to go up. That's for commercial or financial gain, which Mayorkas just said. He can go to prison just on this one in the next 10 years. Tell your congressman, send this video to them and tell them. This is in our Constitution, guys. In the case of violation during and in relation to which the person causes serious bodily injury to or places in jeopardy the life of any person imprisoned not more than 20 years. So who caused bodily injury? The murder and death of Laken Riley. And in the case of a violation resulting in the death of any person, be punished by death or imprisoned for any term of years or life. U.S. States versus Hansen 5299. In 2023, 223, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the statute and affirmed the 20-year sentence of Helleman Hansen for multiple counts of mail fraud, wire fraud, and encouraging the illegal immigration for financial gain, which I think we could nail Johnson on too. And don't forget. And look, there's more. Man, I could show you guys articles all day on these corrupt mayors. But Homan himself has said if these sanctuary cities don't comply, Tom Homan will arrest you, and it's time for him to go and arrest Johnson out of at least, every Democrat sanctuary city needs to be arrested. I'm Doug in exile, but what do you guys think?